So I just want to do a comparison between these two flush cut pliers. So I've had these for a while from True Cable. These have been really nice. The problem with these flush cut pliers is they seem to work well in the beginning, but later on they don't seem to cut as well. And a lot of that has to do with the slop in this rivet here. They just get sloppy over time and they move around a lot and they don't flush cut very well. I've had these, I think, about a month now, and they've been great. In fact, they've been my best flush cut pliers so far that I've ever purchased, and I'm very happy with them. The problem with the pliers, these pliers, is the small diameter of this cutting surface. It's very short, and this is why I decided to give these Snap-on flush cut pliers a chance, because the cutting surface is much longer, as you can see. Now these are a $10 to $15 price range flush cut plier, which is about on par with Klein and Milwaukee that you can get at Home Depot. These are super expensive, and hopefully I didn't make a mistake buying these, because I'm already kind of seeing some, let me just zoom in here, a little bit of rough surface on that cutting surface. I've only made a few cuts. So let's see how they stand up. Now, these are pretty expensive. Okay, these are about $75. These are about the $70 to $80 range. And they're very stiff. They're not spring-loaded. So that's pretty expensive just to get, maybe an inch more of cutting surface. So hopefully I didn't make a mistake buying these. Let's do a comparison on how these cut. So the Snap-on versus the True Cable. Now, I've already arranged these in a B configuration, because this is what I'm going to be using this for, is terminating RJ45s. So I put some tape there to kind of help keep them straight during the process. And the whole reason I really want a really good set of flush cut pliers is because I like to use these loading bar RJ45s, and these are actually from True Cable. And I want a very clean cut, so that when the wire seats up against the edge of this plastic in the RJ45, it seats nice and flat, and I'm able also to get it through the load bar easily without it having it all a bad cut or rough cut. So the whole purpose behind this is so when I put this in here, all the conductors line up nicely and squarely against the plastic edge there. So let's give it a shot now. So I'm gonna go ahead and make a cut with the True Cables. Let me zoom out a little bit here. Let's see what this looks like. Okay. Okay, and there's one of the reasons why I wanted a longer plier too, because I always have that problem of that last wire, because the flush cuts barely fit. You see, when I have this arranged, you got to be pretty precise with that cut. So let's take a look anyways. Well, this will be, let's call this the True Cable one. Actually, let's write this. This is the True Cable one. And then we'll call this one the Snap-on one. Okay, now let's give the Snap-on plier a shot here and see what it does. Okay, you can tell right away that the cut was quite a bit different. This was a more firm cut, and the True Cables were more like a snappy kind of cut. Like, I mean, these are quite larger and more robust. So I can imagine maybe that's why. So let's go ahead and zoom in and see if we can see if the camera will focus on that. Okay. The cut that the Snap-on made, which is pretty darn good, I must say. not bad. And let's take a look at the true cable cut. Now don't worry about the conductors being slightly out of, like, you know, they're not all lined up perfectly like that. That'll happen when you're moving this wire around. Yeah. Now that last one is the one I kind of messed up on, which was the, I believe that was the orange stripe wire. It's not bad. Let's put the two side by side here. So on my left, see if I can get the cameras to focus in on here. Okay, on my left is the snap-on cut, and on my right is the true cable cut. Again, don't worry about the conductors not lining up. When you push the wire, the category cable wiring into the RJ45, it will, the wires will line up with each other. So we're just mainly looking at the cut here. And to be honest, the cuts are pretty similar here. I would have to say they're about equal. Maybe the snap-on is slightly better. Really hard to tell. But both made really good cuts. So I can't say that the snap-on is really worth the price, considering it's like 10 times the price. Or 6, let's see, not quite. It's, yeah, it's about 7 times the price, actually. 7 times the price. So it did give a slightly better cut, though, I must say. And what's nice about the snap-on ones is because they're heavier and they make a more solid cut, because of that weight behind the cut. The conductors feel like they're not going to come flying out, which I really hate. With these smaller pliers, you make the cut and then the conductors just go flying everywhere. This one seemed to make, a more solid cut without the conductors having to go anywhere. I don't like how stiff these are. The guy said, the snap-on guy said these will loosen up over time, I suppose. So is it worth 7 times the cost to have, that much more cutting surface? It's quite significant. I mean, we're talking maybe an inch, maybe, that makes a big difference. Maybe a little bit more. It's quite a bit. So I don't know. It's all about, what's important to you. These cuts on these wires, on these conductors are very important to me because I want them to, line up nicely in the RJ45. I think that's something very important. So I think it was important enough to me to spend that kind of money on this. Again, time will tell, and the problem with these flush cut pliers is consistency and being able to hold up and cut consistently and good for a long time. This does say soft. It just say plastic and soft wire only on it, which is the only thing I'm going to use it for. I wouldn't even use this on zip ties. I have like an older pair of kind of a junky set of like Kleins or something that are worn out that I use for zip ties. I wouldn't even use this to cut, the wire. I would just use something else. I only ever use these to cut the conductor on its last cut before it goes into the load bar, and that's it. So that's what I bought these for. So I have to say True Cable's done a great job with these. These are the best I've used so far, and the price point is the same as the other ones. And to reiterate again, this rivet design is great, and I think that's where the problem comes from on the other one. So good job, True Cable, for making a good tool. And if you guys can make this tool but a little bit longer like this, so we get more cutting surface, so that I'm not having to get exactly, try to get exactly like that. I can have, these are a little bit longer, so I can have some movement like these. That would be great. If you could add that to your product line, please add that. So that's it. That's my review of the True Cable flush cut pliers versus the Snap-on flush cut pliers. Thanks for watching.